Okay, brothers and sisters, both at home and in the diaspora. Let's have a conversation. So behind me, this is Mr. Robert Hussein. Now, this is the shop owner that would have shot the police lance corporal Richard Marvin Ains at his Breeding Hoop business place. So let's read the article and go through it. A 35-year-old police lance corporal was shot dead this morning by a businessman at Breeding Hoop after a row erupted at the businessman's shop over the sale of a phone. The dead policeman has been identified as Richard Marvin Ains, who was attached to the impact base at Brickdam Police Station. He lived at Vreeden Hoop on the west coast, Demerara. In a statement, the Guyana Police Force said the deadly shooting occurred just after 9 o'clock this morning at the Stelling Road, Vreeden Hoop business place of the 37-year-old businessman. The police statement said Lance Corporal Ains Force visited the shop yesterday and returned this morning to make a purchase. However, he reportedly became hostile in the shop as the businessman was packing out boxes. Ains began to behave in a hostile manner and was told to leave the shop. Ains continued his hostile behavior, and it is alleged that he picked up a cell phone heater gun which was on the display counter and threw it at the suspect, hitting him on his chest area. During the confrontation, the suspect drew his firearm and discharged one round in the direction of Ains, hitting him in his right side chest area, which caused him to receive injuries, the police stated. The policeman's brother, Ron Ains, said the shooting was unjustified and his family must now get justice. We're looking for justice because he was a member of the Guyana Police Force, and me brother was a corporal, supposed to get promotion, and me ain't see no reason why a licensed firearm holder should take out the gun, knowing that there is a police. Even if it is a normal person, he ain't supposed to pull his strap because it is nothing serious like somebody going for rob you. It was a confrontation whereby I spend my money, and if something wrong with the item, I have to bring it back to let you know that something is wrong, Ron Ains said. The grieving brother who owns a barbershop nearby, said he was in his shop when a vendor informed him that his brother had been shot. Now you guys heard that. According to what the report saying, the police corporal went to the shop the day before, and then he was back there a morning, and an argument erupted as they was discussing business about the phone. The policeman picked up a heater gun that was on the display case and threw it at Robert Hussein. All this is alleged because I don't know if this business place have a camera or if it doesn't, but this is being alleged. And after this, the confrontation got a little more heated, and Robert Hussein, who's a licensed firearm holder, pulled out his gun and discharged one round straight at a known police officer, hitting him in his right side chest and killing him. Now, there are certain codes that we hear that you have to follow when you're a firearm holder, licensed firearm holder. You're supposed to fire a warning shot, right? Based on what we hear in here, this man didn't discharge any warning shots. One shot this man discharged straight to the police officer. It is not said that the police officer pulled his gun either. So, therefore, I don't see the need for this businessman having to pull his gun. This is what I want you to understand, you know. Also, this man came to do business. This man didn't come to rob the store. So, I cannot understand how it is this man had to take his gun out and what give him the audacity to take your gun and shoot up at the police. This is something you don't typically hear this happening, you know. Normally, bandits and criminals run from police because they know if they should shoot a police officer, much less kill a police officer, that they are as good as they. This is bandits know this. Now, why would a licensed firearm holder? He had to do his firearm training so he knows the handlings of a gun, make sure you fire warning shot, get ready your weapon and all of these things, and he just took it out and shoot this man like this. Now, with all that I just read from the news, you know, The man was a police. The man got to the shop. They didn't say if the man was in uniform or not, but he was a police. We don't know what took place in the shop because we aren't being told that there's camera footage. But what we know is that this man is a licensed firearm holder. And what we know, once you pull out your firearm and you brandish your firearm, you're supposed to fire a warning shot. They didn't say anything about any warning shot. Nor did they say that the police caused this man any physical harm or was a real physical threat to him that warranted him pulling out his gun. But listen to this. 37-year-old West Demoir businessman Robert Hussein was today charged for manslaughter in the shooting death of 35-year-old police lance corporal Richard Haynes. Now, what is puzzling me, right, is that, remember, manslaughter is if you kill somebody but you didn't really intend to kill them. Then it's manslaughter. If you could justify that you didn't intend to kill this person, it would have been manslaughter. But considering this man is a licensed firearm holder, which means this man weapons trained, you know. And this man didn't even fire one warning shot. He didn't even fire a shot like in this to this man's leg area or a shot at this man's shoulder. He shot this man dead in his chest. A police officer that. Y'all could please tell me, how is it Mr. Robert Hussein ended up on $1 million bail and is being charged for manslaughter? Now, why is this important, guys? Because when Adriana young body magically turned up in the pool and the Guyanese started to demonstrate, instantly, many Guyanese would have been charged for terrorism. And many of them didn't even have to plea. They were sent straight on remand. Many Guyanese are still locked up for charges of terrorism. And they weren't granted bail. Many of them weren't granted bail. Look at North Serena Lewis King, who was having a conversation in confidence with somebody else and asked them several times, I hope you're not recording me. The girl conversation was recorded and she was remanded to prison, taken away from our children. She didn't get bail. Look at baby Skello. Soon as baby Skello opened his mouth and sing ignorance and speak about Mother Lashmi, even him and I did some time in the lockup. Now, this is what I'm saying. We want to know if the law only applies to people of a certain racial persuasion and it doesn't to another racial persuasion. Because I have seen many people of Mr. Robert ethnic persuasion and they did crimes. A pandit was charged for rape and a pandit, he was granted bail. There was another driver that had a hit and run of a young girl. He was granted bail. And all these people, what do they have in common? They're Hindustan. The law is biased. The law is biased and it's political. The law has been politicized. Because people of a certain ethnic persuasion, they can commit simple crimes that they can get a slap on the wrist for and they go to jail for. Look recently what took place with Devin Sears. Granted, he was caught driving a vehicle with a large sum of marijuana, but the person in the vehicle claimed ownership to everything and said basically Devin Sears didn't know what he was trafficking and Devin Sears was still remanded to prison. Now, by some stroke of luck, Mr. Robert Hussein was able to discharge a licensed firearm, shoot a police officer in his chest in a shop over a confrontation, and it was a non-violent confrontation, and this man ended up with manslaughter, and yet still so many of our brothers and sisters are still in jail for act of terrorism, for causing public mischief, amongst a list of other charges. Share your thoughts, Guyanese brothers and sisters. This is an Eternity Enterprise presentation. Y'all stay safe.